Rod Digga, you got it. Now we are getting into number 7. So this is I saw this in the track list, and not the song. There was the Road to Copenhagen that we listened to. So why don't Lady Poetic? Why don't you take a couple minutes and just like, this is your song. This is the one you chose of all your songs. You chose this one for us to listen to on the show and potentially get critiqued. Why is it that you chose this one?
For 2 reasons. One, because I knew that you all would give me some honest feedback and not sugarcoat shit, and I would really appreciate that. Okay. And for 2, this song was really never released anywhere. You know, this was created around the time that we were all over each other's mixtapes. You know, CIF, Spitboss, you know, all
collabs.
Of that. Exactly. And Lazy gives me this beat, LB Productions, right?
Oh yeah,
so Lazy
I'm still in contact with him.
Yeah, and he's like, lace this beat. This is going to go on the next mixtape or, you know, collaboration effort, whatever we all end up doing. We're going to put it on there. And it never really ended up getting put on anything. So we never really actually released this to any platform or did much with it. So
so this goes back to like 2010 area kind of thing.
Or 11, maybe 12 at the latest, but not past that. So,
and I always wondered, is it LB Productions or Pound Productions?
Good. I think it's LB Productions, Lazy Boy. Yeah.
Lazy Boy. Oh yeah, Lazy Boy and Spitboss. That's right.
Right.
The Road by Lady Poetic. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Do it.
Before this starts, Lazy, when I first signed up for Spitboss and first got approved to be in the community, he's the first guy that gave me a beat.
Nice.
The first guy.
Nice.
Inspire me, inspire you.
From Nevada, Las Vegas. Lazy.
If we pick up all the pieces, can we find
Clarissa said she'll give it an honest.
Yeah, that's really awesome, Clarissa.
It started with the bass. It started with the soul of essence coursing through my veins. Undeniably, I had it in my heart to make it, but something deep inside of me just wouldn't let me take it. A series of events unfolded. My path was unveiled. With persistence as my right-hand man, it was time to set sail. I left restraints by the door and picked up my convictions. I packed my focus, stubborn nature, plus a little diction. The convoluted webwork kept my intuition sharp. Had some resilience in my pocket just in case things fell apart. I left my heart in pieces, one less target for the practice of disincentives, taking shots suggestive of the malice. I entertained some hindrances every now and then, got distracted by the discourse a time or two again. Obstacles in my creation, timetables portrayed, voices raising contention, but I haven't lost my way. If we pick up all the pieces, can bring it back, and can we find a way to make it there? If we pick up all the pieces, can bring it back, and can we find a way to make it there? Every stumble magnified, every drawback finally detailed. The double takes and whispers gently suppressed by my travail. With scattered dreams and disordered thoughts, I wanted to untangle. Sun in the distance as zephyrs blowing at an angle. Fragments of a not so long ago past re-annealing. Incessantly the memories would strip me of that feeling. Thematically I watch reintroducing every era. Blockades of charades played within an unjust era. The burden bearer bound by workings of an intricate mind. Trudging onward shadowless and without a sign. But by the weight of my knapsack, all the contents and the focus told me it was high time that I dropped a pound of hopeless. Shake off a few shreds of doubt and retie my sneakers. Close my eyes and visualize the bass bumping through the speakers. The rustle of the leaves beside my feet added to the beat. So I cleared my head and brushed away the dust of incomplete. If we pick up all the pieces, can bring it back, and can we find a way to make it there? If we pick up all the pieces, can bring it back, and can we find a way to make it there? I knew before I got going the journey would be long, but sometimes we gotta force ourselves to keeping on. Every now and then compulsion gets a little heavy, till it trickles down my cheeks and reminds me that I'm ready. Driven by the calling, slightly blurred by the commitment. I shook off anything that barely bordered on sufficient. Consistent with the perseverance felt so incredible. Now the writings on the wall were no longer legible. I had it in my mind, there was no choice but to finish. It was in this moment that all my inadequacies diminished. All the qualms I conquered, every sleepless night I kept. For everything I gave up and for all that I have left. Release the sighs of anguish, slowly drawing a new breath. The road becomes more bearable with each devoted step. Each relentless second from the sentence I sustain brings me back and takes me there. By my name I shall remain. If we pick up all the pieces, can bring it back, bring it back. Can we find a way to make it there? If we pick up all the pieces, can bring it back, bring it back. Can we find a way to make it there? Bring it back, bring it back.
LP Productions. One thing I gotta say, Lady Poetic, well done. The era that we met each other in, it was kind of like, fuck you, this is me, take it or leave it. And because we all were doing that together, it made this beautiful, dysfunctional group of young adults trying to make it in the world. And correct me if I'm wrong, but like you were still in university when you wrote this.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
your road literally was just beginning. And since that, you've started a career and become a doctor and you've done all these great things. And the whole time that you've been doing that, you've been rapping. So for me, this is really enjoyable because it kind of affirmed what I thought about you, is that you were a hip hop junkie who's also really smart. Like, you know who you remind me of? You're like the female version of Reptilian.
Oh, really?
You really are. And as in like Reptilian's PhD thesis was on the way that Kung Fu influences your life, essentially, like your psychology. His whole life was Kung Fu and hip hop. And it still is. And it still fucking is. And your whole life is hip hop and psychiatry. You know, like that. Your whole life is the mind. Your whole life is discovering your mind, reinforcing things that you think, expanding your mind, coming to deal with everything that your mind has set traps for you to fall into. You've learned how to deal with these things over these years of becoming a 26-year-old woman. Today, it's her birthday, 26th birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
She's no, I think it was a beautiful tune. I think it was a great way for us. If we were listening, if you were listening to lyrics and having the same insight about you that I have and the experience of the last 15 years that I've had with you as a friend, it was really enjoyable to listen to because it just kind of reaffirmed everything that I thought about you to the beginning. It just shows me that you're an honest, transparent fucking person, and that's fucking relieving because that's few and far between these days. So thank you for sharing that with you.
Appreciate that.
And that, by the way, that tempo, what is it, like 89, 92? For you, I'd say don't go above 95.
Yeah. You know, I like to rap fast, even though I can't do it that well.
I think you're best off in the 89, 92 area. I think that's where you can shine, and your storytelling is develops the most strength in the words when you're at a lower BPM. Ignacio, what are you saying?
The beat for me wasn't in my lane. It wasn't something that I would gravitate towards. Question. On the hook, was that vibrato natural to your voice? It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I'm in D. I think I sing in D.
Okay.
Which is interesting.
Because
I do everything in D.
I almost feel like
that's just
I almost feel like the vibrato kind of drowned out the tone a bit from what kind of drowned it. You didn't hit, I guess the note went a little flat because of the vibrato. If there was a little bit less vibrato, you probably would have stuck that note at the top. When you got to the top, I felt like that note kind of shook a bit. I love the storytelling aspect of the track itself. The beat wasn't something I gravitate towards, but all in all, I'll give it a 7.5.
7.5. Chuck, what are you saying?
Thanks.
Yeah, so I appreciated that. I did. I mean, obviously, given the context, it's somewhat unpolished. But I think there's probably potential for that track to sound very different with probably a good amount of time spent kind of
Mixing.
tinkering with the mix and levels and various things. But I think on Ignacio's point, the storytelling was great, and I also like that was a nice flow. Yeah, like you had a nice flow there.
That's what I'm talking. It's that tempo. It's that tempo.
That was nice. I feel like there was a few spots at the end where you kind of maybe lost the beat a little bit, but overall for most of the track, it was a really nice flow. And so, yeah, I think I enjoyed that. I think the mix was probably pretty off, but the storytelling on the lyrics and the flow were really nice in there. So yeah, and I think I'm not gonna give it a rating given just the context of it all, but I guess that's what I have to say about it. And
you know what? Back then, shit wasn't mixed by professionals.
But it is nice.
Appreciate that.
There's some good potential there.
Like we all mixed our own shit back then. This is like grassroots.
Yes.
Basically, when we first learned how to use our gear, and we found guys who made beats. I love it.
Well, no, it's funny because like you say that, and that's kind of what I thought listening to it. I was like, I bet this is what it would sound like if I tried to mix something, like, and it's just like versus somebody who it's like they're a professional sound engineer and like that is their world and that's what they do,
right? And that's education.
And it's just it's a different skill set, and
it's weird. It's weird to me too that you most people would be like, nah, I did that when, nah, turn that off. I don't want to listen to that. Like I was, I would rather hear something that I did now. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
you are like, you get lost in this nostalgia piece of it.
Oh,
and like, you, I'm saying you.
Oh, you're saying me.
Yes. No, I'm saying you, not me, you.
Yeah.
You get lost in this nostalgia piece of it where it's kind of weird that you like the unpolished, perfected stuff.
That's why my favorite rap is from 1988. I like raw.
That doesn't have anything to do with it. It was pretty professional mixing going on in 1988, man.
I don't know, man, but it was just a simple beat. I like raw, uncut, dude. You know what I like, Ignacio? If hip hop can make me feel something, when I'm not just being an analytical fucking pundit, if it can make me feel something real and not just fabricated by my desire to sound cool, like that makes me fucking love it because it brings my emotion into it. It brings my soul into it. It doesn't just make you like how many fucking songs have I said a little fucking 2-minute spiel after I listened to it? And it didn't mean shit. It was just me regurgitating the same old shit because it sounded like the same old song I've heard a fucking million times. Lady Poetic, I got history with Lady Poetic. I know what that song meant to her. That's why I loved it.
Yeah, I will say that's something I can say on the specifics of the lyrics. It did not sound like it was something that was just written to tell a story. It sounded like that was personal. It
was personal.
And that whether it was or not, that came through. So
yes, exactly right. So 67% said it's on the playlist. So Lady Poetic, congratulations! You now have a song on the playlist.
Thank you, and thank you guys for critiquing it honestly. I really appreciate that.
Of course. Just throw a bad word or two.
That's how we grow. Yeah. That's how we grow.
That's how we grow. Next, we got one that Ignacio is probably gonna like: Master Ace and Marco Polo.
Clarissa thinks you need some swearing, so
let's get into one called